And we used to have them too. We used to have a corner shop, and when we moved to Ardea, we had a butcher, we had a greengrocer, we had a milk bar, all within walking distance. All gone now.
So you didn't necessarily have to, even living, so it was, I think was it 30 kilometres from the city or less? Less than that,
whatever.
20 kilometres from the city. That
didn't have to go to the
time,
city.
You didn't have to go to the city. If you didn't own a car, it wasn't a big deal because you could walk a couple of blocks. And I think the template of having markets coming to people is just brilliant.
We used to have to probably go as far as possibly Williamstown or something to go to a market, which is, you had to jump into a car. We didn't have a local market. Did we? No, it was a local market.
Until we had the veggie swap.
Yeah, then we created one in our local suburb. So, and
so what do you think were the motivations for people making a local market like that in the place you were living?
well, it started off as a fruit and veggie swap.
Yeah.
Because in Ardea, where we lived, there was every block had like fruit trees and veggie gardens and things like that, which were starting to just go to ruin because of people getting older, they couldn't look after them, and so that was mostly the motivation, not to waste all that stuff. So
and for people actually wanting to connect, I think.
There was that.
That was a part of it too.
Yeah.
And it was about welcoming newcomers too, because there'd been a lot of terrible publicity about physical attacks on people in that area. So it was about saying, we're not all like this. Come and meet your neighbours. Be safe. Come and meet your neighbours.
That's interesting. So there was actually an event that drove a bit of change, created intrinsic motivation for people to be more connected.
Absolutely, yes.
And you're celebrating today your
1 year.
1 year in this house, yes.
1 year in Clunes.
It's a little bit less frantic.
Yeah, last Christmas was great.
So could you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how you found your experience to be in Clunes over the last year or so?
I'm Robyn. We have six kids. We waited to leave Melbourne until all the kids had grown up, and in retrospect I wish I hadn't waited that long. I had no idea that jobs in my field, which is social work, were plentiful in regional areas. I just had no idea. I wish that I'd known this 4 or 5 years ago. I wouldn't have waited this long. So we spent a lot of time looking for a place that we were interested in, and we were looking for a place that wasn't a traditional house on a block. We wanted a bit more land, we wanted a garden, and we wanted a house that wasn't necessarily what we'd lived in before, which was the traditional 3 bedrooms and a bungalow. So we spent probably a year and a half looking, and we just kept getting further and further out as we discovered that subdivisions were happening. I think one of the biggest disappointments we had on our way to Clunes was we looked at Creswick and realised that people had been, sometimes places were advertised that were actually sold off backyards, and they'd been built on that way, and we were desperate to, secure a property that we were comfortable to stay in for years, because moving is such a pain in the arse. I'm not going again.
Doing it again.
And so we came across this place, and it ticked all the boxes for us. It's so we were really happy here, and just took a deep breath and said, yep, we're going to do it. We'd never been to Clunes. The day we bought the house was the first day we'd ever been to Clunes.
Wow.
That's the truth.
It spoke to you.
It did indeed.
And what have you noticed about your lifestyle, having now found the place that does offer the things that you were looking for? How does that impact on your daily routines and the feeling of home and all that sort of thing?
I think too, there's a feeling, I don't know whether it's everybody in Clunes, but it feels like there's less of a drive to have material things. And people, generally speaking, seem satisfied to have enough, and that's the point where I feel like I'm at in my life. I'm happy to have enough. I don't need more things, or you wouldn't know it looking at a Christmas tree.
But they're sentimental.
Yes, they're sentimental things. But you know what I mean? You don't have to have the latest car or the...
It's an ideology.
Yes, it is. And it feels comfortable, and it feels like home.
Yeah.
That it does. Anyway, Adrian, and we moved to Clunes 12 months ago today. Funny story. Well, not funny, maybe not funny, haha. But we went to New Year's Eve at the pub at the National Hotel, and I quietly said to Robyn, I'm going to play there next year, New Year's Eve. And sure enough, the universe has organised that. That's one thing. I mean, I've been in 3 bands for the last, since I moved here essentially.
Yes.
Now only 2, because it just got too much. I've been busier than I've ever been, probably ever, and the garden is like a full-time job, but I've never once felt that it's a chore. I just enjoying every second of being here, meeting people, good people like yourself. Everybody is so welcoming. It's just crazy.
Well, I don't know how good you think I'll be now, because I'm going to put you on the spot. Ask you to imagine in, say, 50 years' time. So you mentioned
50 years' time? We might be in a big hole in the ground.
So
That's flattering, by the way.
Your children and your grandchildren are visiting you for Christmas. If they were in a situation where they started living here, or the young people you know in town, if they stay in Clunes, how could you, reflecting on your experience and your understanding of a broad range of contexts, what sort of considerations would you have for the people living here in the next 50 years? So they're 10 now, so they'll be 60 and 50, they'll be,
So what sort of considerations would they have?
Imagine...
What needs to be in place for them?
I mean, in any way, you could look at it from a personal perspective. If I was 10 and I had the next 50 years here in Clunes, these are some of the things that I can imagine doing. Or even as grandparents, what would some of the things that you'd like to see for your grandchildren if they were...
Well, when my grandkids come here, they run up and down that hill constantly till they can't do it anymore. With the subdivision, that will not actually ever be possible. And that's the first instance. My grandkids come here and they do things that they can't do in the city. Like they go horse riding, or go to my neighbours and chase pigs and or llamas and or whatever else there is.
Bar at the sheep.
And if this is subdivided and our neighbours are sheep on the back and on the side, if that's apartments or houses, that's gone, isn't it? Forever.
So it's not about, but it's not necessarily about sort of land ownership. It's about space. It's about connectedness. That your grandkids can hang out with the neighbours and you know them, and that's that's friendly.